You're watching our State of Disneyland Report because you want to know what's happening around Disneyland today, the latest around the Disneyland Resort. And that report starts right here at the top of Town Square for a vibe check down Main Street. We are here on a Monday afternoon, picture perfect day weather-wise, 65 degrees out right now. You don't feel any bit of that coldness. It's just beautiful here. It's actually St. Patrick's Day as we walk down Main Street. So you're gonna be seeing a lot of green in the crowds. The guests here are celebrating St. Patrick's Day, but Disneyland isn't. There's, I think, one treat and that's it. Hi guys, my name is David Erickson. I'm your host for this State of Disneyland Report and host of this channel. And we're going to be taking a complete tour around this whole park and catching you up to date on what's happening, you know, each land, each attraction, some of the news that's happening around the parks. We'll be covering that, like the new Disneyland ticket offer, the new discount ticket offer. New management has taken over with respect to the presidency. Thomas Mazloum has begun his, or Mazloum has begun his official presidency of the Disneyland Resort, and we've also got Mickey and Minnie heading down Main Street. Very Disneyland way to get this show started. So we're going to be talking about new management here and talking again about what we're hoping is going to happen with that new management, what our expectations are, or what we'd like to see from this new park president, and of course the usual park science, ride recon. We'll get into some food, maybe get on a couple rides, hopefully, if it's not too busy. Speaking of which, here's that vibe down Main Street that we talked about. I'm picking up a pretty busy day vibe right now. It's certainly a departure from what we saw 2 weeks ago in our last State of Disneyland Report, where it felt kind of dead. It was kind of dead, but this week is certainly not the case. And by the way, we're filming this at pretty much the same time, same day a week, same time frame, more or less. We're a little bit about an hour later maybe than usual, but that's about it. We also found this scene at the Toy Story parking lot this morning. Very busy day just from the get-go, just getting into the park. It's been kind of an adventure, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of this day plays out. And there's our last look at Main Street before we start heading into the park. In fact, let's get down to Frontierland on the Mark Twain and take a look at the reservation calendar. This is going to be a real challenge. Guys, we're barely getting started with the show and the crowds are already incredibly huge. I had a hard time just getting on the boat. There was a queue out in that main walkway before you even get into the covered part. Incredible. And there's pretty much, this is one of the fullest Mark Twains I've been on in quite some time when all three levels are open. Top, middle, and bottom, and it's packed. But let's do our best to get into this. We'll start with the single day ticket calendar, and there's really nothing to talk about here. Again, as usual, it's wide open. There's no date sold out. And it's all systems go for those of you who are trying to buy a single day ticket. Today is a Tier 3 day, black, code black, and that's $164 in the upper middle part of that range. There goes the Hungry Bear. I think we might be eating there later on today. Stay tuned for that. It's neither a cheap day nor is it a more expensive day, but again, wide open. Well, not exactly wide open. I mean, today is a DCA start only, although it's 1 o'clock. So if you wanted to come in today, you would be starting at Disneyland if you wanted to. But it is, for all intents and purposes, a wide open day. Let's look at the Inspire Key calendar, and this is where things get a little scary for Match Key holders because it is completely sold out for this entire week, Monday through this coming Sunday. So for the next 7 days, every day is sold out right now, and you have to do some ninja work if you want to get one of those reservations. You have to do a lot of, spying on the calendar, some really intensive work, and it's a pain in the butt. I don't mind telling you, especially for the locals who come here often, seeing a week like that where you got 7 strikeout dates. It's Friday and Saturday next week and Sunday next week. Good gosh. Now compare that to what we saw this time last year. This time last year, I was doing a video about how I feel like maybe Disneyland had priced everybody out and they were waiting for the discount tickets because that time period, that discount season had ended and the park was dead. We may talk about that in a minute, but April is not looking good. 4th and 5th are sold out, as is the 6th, the 27th, and then obviously you get into May, and the 16th and the 17th are still sold out. Clearly, they have not replenished those dates yet. That's the beginning of the 70th anniversary, plus those other 2 Saturdays. It's just brutal right now. The Magic Key calendar is brutal, and this is a time of year when it should, I mean, there's demand, but it's spring break, but that's historically not been the busiest time of year. Spring break is not the busiest time of year. It's not a time where you're expecting it to be bonkers, which I have a feeling is what we're going to encounter based on what we've seen so far. That calendar from a year ago just had a couple of sold out dates, like 1 or 2, and I think I remember thinking, gosh, that's not great. I wish it was better than that. We are now looking at, what, half or a dozen sold out dates in this month alone, and we're already halfway through. Let me go back. Yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10 dates out of the next 15 are booked. Is that right? 4. God, there's only 4. Reservation calendar, man. That's a nightmare. Well, that was a very intense beginning to our day today, I think. We're just walking down Main Street, seeing those crowds on the Mark Twain, seeing the crowds that we saw right there in Frontierland as we tried to board the Mark Twain. Pretty intense. Let's get into the park here, take a look at some crowds and queues in Adventureland, if we can survive, because it looks really scary right here.
Yeah, but I mean,
nothing like 2 weeks ago, right? Okay, things don't look too bad from the outside here at the Jungle Cruise at first, although it's posted 40 minutes. Guess on the top left and top right, apparently they agree, because while I was sitting there trying to film a 40-minute posted wait time, they switched it right there in front of me to 30 minutes. Fresh Bake strikes again. Nothing to report at Indiana Jones Adventure because it is closed. They're not offering any tours today. It's part of a scheduled closure. They're doing some maintenance here at Indiana Jones. Everybody's wondering what they're going to be getting into. Temple tours will begin again this spring, and they've got their fun signs up telling guests to come back, telling guests to return, which we will. I think it's on the 24th. Is that right? The 24th that's reopening? I think 25th. Which I guess just takes us right into New Orleans Square. Oh, that is very empty. I think that smells like a closure considering what we've seen elsewhere. No chance the Pirates would be this empty if it's open. Indeed, it is not open. Pirates looks to be closed. 2 attractions out of 3. Well, 4. If you count Tiki Room, 2 attractions out of 4 are closed, although Tiki Room never closes except for its schedule. Now, 1 is scheduled, the Indiana Jones. Pirates is unscheduled, so that's unexpected, and it's usually a pretty reliable attraction. I'm kind of curious what's going on there. New Orleans Square doesn't look too bad. It's 2 o'clock. Dead in the middle of the afternoon right now. Let's go take a quick pass through Tiana's Palace. I want to see how busy they are right now. The queue out here, it's looking good. Looks like it's pretty empty inside. A lot of mobile orders, though. My goodness. Yeah, it looks wide open. They're serving just one side, though, but that's a breeze. That's 5 or 10 minutes right there. No problem whatsoever. Jambalaya Jazz Band about to play. That's exciting for those of you who are looking for a little entertainment while you eat your jambalaya. There's one table. That's actually pretty rare. Tiana's Palace is usually very difficult to find a seat, but that's it. It's interesting that we're running into the Jambalaya Jazz Band there right now because while they are playing, and they are playing right there at Tiana's Palace, which is nice. It's very enjoyable. I love that. They used to play out here in the street. The Jambalaya Jazz Band used to play here. Back there, at what was the French Market, they had another band, the Royal Street Bachelors. They're gone. And I'm pretty sure it's been years since the Royal Street Bachelors have been a thing here at Disneyland. And it brings to mind a conversation I wanted to have. We mentioned at the outset that there's new management in place here. Ken Potrock is no longer president of Disneyland. He had a 3 or 4 or 5 year run. New management is in place. It's something that we've known about now for a couple of months. I think I want to say it was back in January that it was announced. Thomas Mazloum will be taking over, or is taking over now, the chief executive here at Disneyland. And the conversation obviously goes to what's going to happen now at Disneyland. What should we expect? And as I mentioned in our State of DC report we did a couple months ago, probably not a lot. We probably shouldn't be expecting a whole lot because that's just how, Disneyland is what it's been for the past, decades. There hasn't been a lot of volatile changes in the park since I've been covering it now for 13 years. It just kind of always is what it is. But I would say this, that the park is less than it was 13 years ago. The park 13 years ago was more than it is today, and in a lot of definable ways. We just did a report, construction report, where I did give Disney a lot of credit for this park is as up to date as in terms of maintenance and rides being open and operational, and them fixing things, fixing features of the park. Oh my gosh. I'm looking at this queue right now for the Tom Sawyer Island boats. Look at this. The boat just pulled in over there, right? Usually everybody who's gonna ride can fit in that little pen, that little dock area right there. But this is the queue right here. All this right here, that's queue. The queue for Tom Sawyer Island is halfway around the river. That's 3 rotations. It's gonna take those guests at least 2, probably 3 boats to get across the river and go enjoy a half operating Tom Sawyer Island, as I talk about how well things are maintained, where you can't even go out here into the front. That's completely inaccessible to guests. Half the attractions in there don't work. I can't talk about that anymore. It's gonna make me sick. It's gonna make me sick. What's happening to Tom Sawyer Island is gonna make me sick. Okay, so what should we expect from Mazloum? I don't know, man. I don't know. But here's what I can say. Here's what I want to happen. In our previous conversation about this, I said 3 things. I'm gonna make it 5 here. But the first 3 are the same, maybe in a different order. Number 1 is that they need to put more focus on live entertainment. Live entertainment here in the parks, it has been a dying thing, a slowly dying fossil. And this has been going on for more than a decade now, ever since I've been covering the park. It's been the case that they keep canceling entertainment and not replacing it with anything. Most Golden Horseshoe it's just absolutely criminal, a travesty, an attraction as historic and meaningful to this park. To not have a show there on that stage is absolutely criminal. And whoever is responsible for that decision, whatever executive is responsible for that decision, has my deep and unabridged, I'm trying to be kind, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of you. I'm not a fan of what you've done to entertainment. I'm almost positive it's a single person that's doing this. I don't think it's coming from up high, because there's entertainment in other parts. I mean, then again, you go to other parks, you go to Knott's Berry Farm, Universal, they're cutting down live entertainment there as well. So maybe that's the thing. Maybe they feel like it's a sunk cost. There's the ROI is not good enough on entertainment. That's a conversation we'll get to in a second. But that's number 1. I don't care what it costs. You need to bring that back. You need to restore things that people want in this park. Number 2, treat your cast better. They treat their cast terribly. And this is not a new story. This is an old story, but it seems like it's getting worse. And they're asking cast to do more for the same money. They fight with them every time a contract comes up. There's a labor dispute. Every single time they have to threaten to walk out, and for what? A couple bucks. What are they making? $18 an hour now? $20 an hour? I mean, that's nothing in today's economy. You cannot survive on that. You have to have 3 roommates to survive on that here in Southern California. I don't know where you live, but here in Southern California, it is cost prohibitive to live and work here for anything less than, well, you need more than 20 bucks an hour, I'll say that. But it goes beyond that also. There's been an observable trend to moving away from generational caste, generational wisdom. It is no longer the case where, hi guys! It is no longer the case where a cast member has worked here for 20 or 30 years. That's something that they actively try to discourage, as I understand it, which again is a downright shame. You need generational wisdom in order to make the guest experience better. The longer the cast are here, the better is the experience for you and me. It makes our experience better. We have more, they have more information, more knowledge. They can easily handle situations. They have experience. I'm sure there's a financial reason why they're doing it. I don't care. They need to fix that. Number 3, reservation system. Get rid of it. I can't say it any plainer than that. I've said this before and I'll say it again. The reservation system sucks. It is bad for the guest. I understand Disney might try to feed you a reason. They do it so they can manage staff, so they can manage inventory. They can better plan for crowds. If they know how many people are going to be here, they know how many people they have on cast or on stage. They already know. They already know. They didn't need it before. They were doing just fine without it. Pre-COVID, pre-reservation system, they were doing just fine. It wasn't a problem, and they were making a ton of dough. They were making plenty of money, and that they didn't have to worry about cost cutting. Employee hours, if that's the true reason, or whatever the case may be. It is also a complete and total myth, that the family from Colorado is going to get locked out. They show up here, if there's no reservation system, they can show up to the park and be told they can't get in. That never happened. It's never happened, and at least not for an entire day. There have been cases, very rare cases, where the park was exceptionally busy on a given day, let's say during the holidays, like Christmas Eve or something like that. But it was just for an hour or two. They just needed people to leave. They just had to wait for 1,000 people to walk out before they let more people in, that kind of thing. But I can't remember in the 13 years that I've been covering this park where I should say that the 8 years prior to the 5 years post-COVID, do that math, where it has been the case that they had to completely close the park. The only time I remember that being the case really was that 24-hour event, the all-nighter, for the first day of the 60th. But that's such a rare situation, an exceptional situation. It's an outlier that doesn't count. The reservation system is good only for Disney because they can control when you get into the park. They have turned me into a weekday visitor. I used to be a weekend visitor. I no longer go to the parks on the weekends anymore. And it's not because I don't want to, it's because of the reservation system. They have forced me, they pushed me into that role because they want me as a Magic Key holder to fill that gap. They want me to stay out of the park on the weekends. They want me in the parks during the week because the weekends are for the single-day ticket holders. Now, I've added 2 more to this that I'm going to try to get to real quick. After dark parties, either go all the way or get rid of them. Everybody that I talked to, I stopped going last year. I went to one last year, and that was the Disney Channel night because it was the new one. But I skipped every other one, Star Wars night, Valentine's or whatever, Sweethearts night. I did go to Oogie Boogie, but I'm questioning that one again this year. But I have some friends who still went this year to 90s night, and to a man, they have said, that's it, I'm done. It's cheap. They don't go all the way, and if you're not going to go all the way, just cancel it. That scene that I keep thinking of is that scene at the Fantasyland Theater with those 3 little pop-ups, the standees where they take a picture. Embarrassing that they're charging people $150 for that night and giving them 4 hours, 5 hours to be in the park and to take those pictures. It's embarrassing, and it's a blight on on Disney management because it just screams cash grab. It screams taking advantage of guests and their desire for vintage or nostalgic nights like that, and we keep thinking it's going to be better than it was, and it's worse every single time. Get rid of after dark events or go all the way. If you can't do a good show, go all the way, which brings me to the 5th point, and that is put on a good show. That was such a huge thing with Walt Disney. You used to hear him talking about good show or bad show. What is good show? What is bad show? Disney's not, in a lot of cases, this park is packed right now, and the attractions are up and running, and it's jamming here, but there's still plenty of cases where it's just plain bad show. And Disney, they've been putting all their focus onto, ROI and per guest spending. That was a Chapek thing. Oh my God, it made me crazy listening to him talk about per guest spending. I swear I was going to take a hostage if I heard him say that one more time. That's such an I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear a Disney executive talk about per guest spending or ROI, not even on an investor's call. What they need to be doing, that's been their sole focus, is on profit and ROI and guest spending. They've been obsessed with it, and what their obsession needs to be is the guest. You need to be the obsession. I need to be the obsession. They need to be obsessed about making us happy. And then again, this probably isn't good for the bottom line, but I don't care. I just don't care. You're gonna make money. There's plenty of money to be made here. It's obvious. It's so very obvious. Look, Epic Universe is going around, they're building 15 different theme parks around the world. Why? Because they make money. But here's the difference. Think about what, back in the day when Disneyland became what it was because Walt had passion and he went for it, and he didn't care. Okay, he didn't care. He was more concerned about the guests and putting on a good show than he was about how much it cost. He risked everything multiple times to build this park and to build the Disney company. Risked everything multiple times, risked it all, his own personal financial well-being to make this happen. And he did it with his own vision, and he didn't listen to anything else. You talk about manifestation. Disneyland is a manifestation of one man's dream. And you can compare that to what's happening at Epic Universe. They don't care. They're building the park they want to build, and they're going for it. They're going for it. They're thinking about the guest. They're not thinking about ROI, although I'm sure the stuff is going to be expensive. I'm sure the merch is going to be expensive. I'm sure the food's going to be expensive. I'm sure there's going to be ways where they're going to try to recapture some of that money. They're going to upcharge you in certain ways. That's all going to happen. But it starts with putting on a good show. And everything that's coming out of Epic Universe is screaming good show, and Disney needs to get back into that business. They need to get back into the good show business. So, new management, President Thomas Mazloum, I hope you're listening. I hope you have an ear to the ground, and you actually have the power and ability to do something about this, because I don't think I'm alone in this. I hear people talk about all the time about cast, about entertainment in the parks, about the reservation system. I hear people talk about this all the time. This is not new ground. This needs to happen in order to create look, I know I've been long-winded about this, and hopefully you're still watching. Hopefully my passion is at least getting to making this watchable. Because here I am, I'm thinking about average view duration and click-through rates in my head right now, and I shouldn't. I should just be concerned about getting, my energy out there to you. Disney they need to grow their guests. They need to grow guests from the ground up, from little kids to teenagers to adults. That's how you build. That's how you maintain a guest fan base. Sure, the parks are busy right now. It's packed. It is so very busy, but they're full of guests like me. They've got me. I'm coming to Disneyland until I die, but I am going to die someday. You guys, Disney, I'm going to die someday. Who's gonna replace me in the park? Is it going to be the disgruntled teenager on Twitter right now who's listening to everybody complain about how Disney's being poorly run, and you know what I mean? Like the magic is gone. Disney isn't like it was. That is a pervasive thought going around social media, and you cannot escape it. And so it's going to seep into the consciousness of the kids you're trying to grow and turn into Disneyland guests. I'm not worried about Disneyland for the next 5 or 10 years. I'm worried about it in 20 years. I'm worried about long term. Grow your guests, and that starts with good show, taking care of your cast, and getting rid of this stupid reservation, and just making this a fun place to be and people to be excited about. Rant over. And 12 minutes later, and the Tom Sawyer queue has actually gotten longer. They are also, I just noticed, they're not running 2 rafts here. They should be running 2 rafts at this point. They can, and they do. I've seen it happen. It's pretty beautiful to watch the little ballet of the 2 rafts, dancing out there in the water. But that does look like they're just doing 1 raft at a time. That's going to take a while. Let's get back to the New Orleans Square, where I see a healthy queue. Oh my. That's the back of the standby queue right here. You guys, it's coming out of the threshold. My goodness, posted 60 minutes. But you know what? That's it. That's the story today. I'm pretty sure we're going to see that kind of thing no matter where we go. It's going to be, bonkers busy in every single queue. We'll try to get into one of these hopefully and do a little recon to find out how accurate that is. But there's a 60-minute queue right now for Haunted Mansion. Huh. These walls popped up since last Friday. Don't know what that's for.
It's been a minute since I've been to the Hungry Pear Barbecue Jamboree, and I'm excited for this because last time we were here was when it first opened, and we were trying everything. But there were a couple of things that we didn't get into. One of them, namely, is the loaded fries. Now, it looks like it's just a side, but there is some protein in there, so I went for it as my lunch today. Smoked pulled pork, queso sauce, which is always good. They do queso sauce, or have in the past. They did a queso sauce burger, and it was absolutely incredible. Perhaps one of the best things I've ever had at a Disney park. Pickled onions, which I'm not about it. That's still a thing, and I'm okay. Anytime they want to pickle the onions, that's good. Pickled jalapenos also, and then cilantro and scallions. Steak fries. That's good. The sauce is good still. Yeah, fantastic. Now, the difficulty in eating this is that it's finger food, but there's so many elements going on that you kind of do have to use a fork. I'm just going to try to see if I can't get a bite of something. I can finish the pulled pork. Get some onion, get some pepper. That's a pretty tasty bite. You can taste the pulled pork very present. The spiciness of the heat coming off those peppers, and the sauce, and the well, everything really. It's present as well. I'm gonna grab this fry right here. Look at that. All those. Jesus, it's a messy meal. All that extra stuff on there does make the fries a little soggy. That is really good. Get some napkins though. Still very good. By the way, I did sneak in the side of the baked beans, which goes with any meal that you get here. Oh man, that is good. That is really good. Freaking out. This is why you come to guys. This is why you come to the Hungry Pear. I'm sure that the barbecue is decent. It's pretty good. It's better than decent. I'm enjoying this. But that's why it's not. There's a lot of people. You hear that? The train went by earlier. The train goes by every 5 minutes too. It really is one of the most Disneyland experiences you can have. Like literally, we're at Disneyland. All in, price, taste, everything. I'm gonna give it a B. And those baked beans, A for those.
Well, I don't know where I was in the show. My Pocket 3 just died on me. It is out of operation. So we are switching to our phone right now, and this is going to be quite an adventure, but the show must go on. And that show takes us to Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And oh my gosh, 95, yeah. So there you go, 95. That's the back of the queue right here. Actually, no, it's not. They have, oh my God, they've done the thing. They've done the thing. It's out here in wild space. I don't even know where the back of that goes. I walked right by it. Hey guys, I walked right by it on my way in here because I was tripping out on my Pocket 3. It's like the old days, you guys. It's like the old days. Wow. Yeah, it's okay. So have I still not reached the back? It's almost out here. Yeah, this is it right here. This is the back. I'm trying to remember if it was even that busy when the attraction first opened. I mean, we saw 2-hour return times or something like that, but I never saw the queue actually get to that point. It was more because of breakdowns. You can't even walk through the park right now. You can't even walk through here without running into somebody. Anyway, it was because of breakdowns and everybody was doing lightning lane, etc. But look at this. This queue is with the stalkers. Wow. I just realized now that I'm off my Pocket 3, I don't have a microphone anymore, so I have to speak into the phone. Here's Winnie the Pooh. Yikes. That's a great option right now. I'm loving Winnie the Pooh right now. Gosh. I can't even do like proper recon on that situation because I have no idea. I have no baseline. I have no baseline on that kind of queue out there if 95 minutes is accurate. Single rider. Get in single rider, man. But look at just guests everywhere. They're probably definitely out here in extended 1 and extended 2, and I want to get the heck out of here. Wow. There is demand for Disneyland still, for sure. There's demand, there's dissatisfaction, but there's also demand. That's why this is a very fluid conversation when it comes to like the state of Disneyland, because some people just see things black or white. Like you either have to hate it or love it, and there's nothing in between. But obviously, there's plenty of room for in between for the people who are actually in the park. There is dissatisfaction. There are things that Disney's not doing well, but it's still a wonderful place to be. Still, Disneyland, outranks so much of what else you're spending $160 on today. There's still plenty of demand. I would just like them to treat their guests better, just to put on a good show and think of the guest instead of what's in their pocket. Rise to the Resistance, not quite all of Section 4, but a lot of it. And this walkway is pretty packed right now too, on the way to the rest of Galaxy's Edge. That's not a queue that I'm looking forward to getting into right there. And that's posted 85. Not much happening here. Oh, there is a queue. A little bit. Oh my, there are people posted even in Lightning Lane. See that? Never want to see that. Never want to see guests standing in that space right there. I mean, this space as well, but you hardly ever see that. But you also hardly ever see guests there queued up and waiting to get into the Ray Room. So far, busiest day of the year right now. So far, that's it. Busiest day of the year. Even Galaxy's Edge is pumping right now. Wow, it is just busy everywhere. And I'm reminded now of something that I alluded to on our, when we were on the Mark Twain, about how things were a year ago versus how they are today. And that this time last year, they were doing the $50 ticket for the kids and 60-something for the adults. Well, actually, I should say they were doing that up until March. Oh, thank you. Doing that up until March 10th, I think it was, if memory serves. So at this point last year, they had stopped selling those tickets, and I had said in that State of Disneyland report that, well, gosh, people were they wanted to buy those tickets, and now they're not here today because it was the dead at that time. They didn't do that this year. This year, they kept selling that ticket into March, April, and towards May before the 70th anniversary. So are we supposed to infer from that Disney is afraid of a drop in demand? They're afraid of a repeat of what happened last March, and that's why we're seeing crowds like this today, because they are still selling that discounted ticket, $67 per day for adults, $50 a day for kids, for a three-day ticket. Should it be this busy, or were they, is Disney afraid of a letdown? And that also brings to mind something that's what I keep talking. Right now, it seems like Disney has only two plans: to either charge more or charge less. They don't have any other plan in terms of attracting guests, attracting new revenue, creating revenue. They only have discounts and charging more. And that's not a pretty thing. It's not a good sign. And that's why I feel like they have, and it's because it's due to forgetting about show. They have forgotten about show, and now all they have is pricing. That's the only thing that they got going for them. Is, well, the only plan they have. That's not really a plan at all, is it? By the way, Smuggler's Run posted at 70 minutes. Can't see that, but I can. 70 minute standby. I'm not even gonna go in there and check that. I think I'm good. I can see them in the window there. Where'd it go? Where are they? There they are. Yeah, they're posted. Very so posted. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Let's get into some Fantasyland. There you go, Casey Jr. Queue's down there. The back of the queue's down there somewhere. It's still running one train. This is gonna take a while. This actually, right about here, you're looking at 20 minutes, so maybe a total of 30, 35 once you get to the back of that queue. Incredible. Hey guys, that's a very busy day for Casey Jr. There's the back of the Pinocchio queue somewhere around the old Rapunzel Tower. I call it that because they had Rapunzel's hair out there when they were, anyway, it's still Rapunzel's Tower to me. But that's a very, very hardy queue there for Pinocchio. They've even got some temporary ropes up. Non-standard queue right there. Busy, busy day. Still one of the best discounts you're gonna get right now is Pinocchio. That's still, as bad as that looks, that's still just 20 minutes. Same for Snow White. Very hardy queue. It's posted at 40. When's the last time you've seen that? Huh? When's the last time you've seen a posted 40? And the queue wrapping around this tower here at Snow White. They've got ropes up here as well. This is bringing me back to COVID era. My goodness, we're gonna talk about that in a second as well. And then naturally, Peter Pan, just full to the brim. There's probably no available space in there. No available space. All right, it's posted 40 as well, but it's at least that. It's more 40 than Snow White is, that's for sure. And Mr. Toad's also is a little bursty. Posted at 20. It's probably more like 25, I'd say. They're prepared, they're ready for more queue here, and it probably will happen. But right now they are pretty much within the threshold of the general queue there. I wonder what the wait is right now for King Arthur Carousel. It's out here outside of its normal.
I'm gonna go wait.
Oh my gosh, it is going around. I can't look at, there's so many people in my frame right now. That's how busy it is. I can't even get a clear shot. There it goes. Oh my gosh, the chain. It's going around and around and around. But you know what? I'm in the mood for a little recon, and I don't know if I can stomach a 90-minute queue somewhere, so we're gonna find out how long it takes to get onto King Arthur Carousel here in this super extended looking queue. Looks like the back of the queue is hitting right about where the chains meet the ropes. I'm gonna guess. Let's see, 1, 2, I'm gonna guess 3 rotations. It's gotta be at least 3 rotations, so you're thinking, what, 6, 7 minutes each? So 20 minutes? We got into this queue at 3:01, so the clock is starting. Under the tent in 3 minutes at 3:04. 3:08. And we're about ready to get sent in the next pen, which means we're going to be on the carousel after this one. So you're looking at another 4 or 5 minutes. So all in, 12, 13 minutes? That queue was pretty enormous. That's a testament to how efficient Disney is operationally. And that is the case on a lot of rides out here. You get into a queue and you're like, oh, that looks terrible, especially in Fantasyland. Fantasyland is filled with attractions that look like they're brutal, but they're actually just 15, 20 minutes. By the way, if they open up that gate when it's our turn, that's kind of a secret weapon. If you're trying to get into you're trying to get the jingles, which I'm not. I'd rather somebody else get it. But if you can't get that one, I'm not sure how often they open that gate though. If they do open that gate, they've actually got the head start over the people at the very front. One gate open, and there you go. They did get a head start. This gate opened a couple seconds later. Now they're going to try to go get it, maybe, but I think it's already been taken. I just love the urgency at King Arthur Carousel. It's great. Somebody got jingles. Congratulations. Now, do you guys remember COVID? Do you remember this time last year, actually, on this date, March 17th, as I record this, I was filming a I'm staying the F home video from my office. 2 days prior, I was shooting my last video on March 15th, 2020, a food review at the PB&J Slushy. I think it was at Maurice's, and they had a new bow, Tropical Hideaway. And I remember feeling unsure of the future of Disneyland at that point. I remember being very concerned about, because it was all in the news. The COVID thing was all in the news. That was 5 years ago today, or I should say 5 years ago, 2 days ago. And the park closed, I want to say the next day, so it could have been like yesterday, I think. Oh my gosh. But anyway, I mentioned that because, well, this type of thing, this discounted ticket type conversation wasn't one that we had pre-COVID. By the way, we were in fact on our horse in 13 minutes. Now, pre-COVID, I would have laughed at you had you brought up the idea of a discounted ticket. People would often ask, hey, is there a cheap way to get a ticket? No, there were none. Tickets were sold full price, always, 24/7. Nothing was discounted, nothing. Hi, guys. Nothing was put on sale. No merchandise. You see merchandise on sale now. You go to the Emporium and there'll be stuff on sale. There were that sort of thinking didn't exist. They had no problem selling tickets at a full price, and that makes a big difference. And that's about customer satisfaction, and the per guest spend is probably better too. They're probably spending more money on merchandise and food anyway, because more people here. They're satisfied. They're happy. When they're happy, they want to spend money. Now they come here and they're dissatisfied because the tickets cost so much, lightning lane costs so much. It's so hard to get in here with the reservations, the shows, the entertainment. Everybody's bitter before they even come through the gate. They're not going to spend money on merchandise and things like that. I don't know how much of this is correct. I'm just assuming. I am not an insider. I don't understand the economics as well as, let's say, somebody who actually works and runs a theme park. But I have to think that there is some kind of validity to that line of thinking. Put on a good show, charge full price, charge more even, and people will show. 30 minutes for Dumbo, and it looks to be about all of that. I'm seeing a big crowd back there in the rear. I haven't seen the posted wait time. By the way, we gotta look at the tip board. We should do that. I haven't seen the posted wait time yet for Alice in Wonderland, but that looks pretty outside of the normal realm. I would say they're gonna call this 30 minutes at the sign right here. Okay, it says 40. But the sign would if they were at the sign, they'd call it 30, I should say. Now I'm speaking English. They're calling it 40 because it's going around the side of the attraction building all the way down to the entrance, the down, which that's 40 minutes as far as they're concerned, as far as Disney's concerned. But even that worst case scenario right there, that's probably closer to 25 minutes, I'm guessing. They've got Mad Tea Party out here on the ropes along the rail. Still, that's just 15 minutes, but it looks bad. And Storybook Land doesn't look great either. It is still, though, within these confines. Oh no, they do have ropes out here as well. Let's see if I can't sneak over there. And oh my, how far out is that going now? Is that going back down the path? Almost. I've seen worse. I'd certainly have seen worse. This is probably looking at 30 minutes right there to get on Storybook Land. Oh, there goes Casey. And with that, we're going to pull over here on the side of the street here in Fantasyland on the way to Small World to take a quick look at that tip board to see. I'm sure it's going to be pretty crazy out there on in the wait times across the board. And there's that 40-minute wait time we just saw for Alice. Astro Orbiter also at 40. That's pretty strong. Autopia 35. Turn time 2.5 hours. That's pretty strong for Autopia. Big Thunder is closed. Buzz Lightyear strong, 40 minutes. Return time in 2 hours. This is going to be a tough day for Lightning Lane. Also, Casey Jr. 30. That's all due to having just one train. Gadgets is pushing an hour. Whew. That's our next stop. My goodness. Dumbo 30. We just saw that. Finding Nemo 45. Man, like this is the day you choose Finding Nemo. Haunted Mansion is an hour. Return time in 4 hours. Jungle Cruise 45 minutes. No discounts so far, except for things here in Fantasyland, like the Mad Tea Party. Winnie the Pooh is posted at 35, but I don't think I've ever been in a 35-minute queue. I would be curious to know what an actual 35-minute queue looks like. I'm guessing somewhere around Davy Crockett canoes. Matterhorn bobsleds. I'm looking at them right now. I can see them from here. 70 minutes and a 3-hour return time. It does look pretty dastardly out there. Let's see. Runaway Railway pushing an hour. Return time in it is 8 hours. Heavens to Betsy. Smuggler's Run is 45. It was 60 when we left it, so apparently people have stayed away. Toads is whatever. Peter Pan 45. Pinocchio 25. Pirates 75 minutes. Holy mackerel. Oh my gosh, I would love to be in New Orleans Square right now to see why that is. It could be because it was closed for a little while, and so there's like a rebound effect happening. People are jumping in there. They want to get in there. People want to use maybe their Lightning Lane or something. But yeah, 75 minutes right now is unheard of at Pirates. I would love to know what that looks like. Roger Rabbit 75 standard. I say standard, like we're just used to Roger Rabbit being like the busiest. It's like it's worse than Monsters even over at DCA, because like I said last time, at least there's other things you can do here, and still it's still 75 minutes. Snow White is 35. Yikes! Space Mountain 60. How is Roger Rabbit and Pirates a longer wait than Space Mountain? Go ahead and explain that. Star Tours 45 minutes. That is incredibly long for Star Tours. That's a 20-minute ride these days. Rise is at 70. Strawberry Land 35. Tiana's is down from 95 to 70. All right. And I think we got Pocket 3 back, at least for the time being, so we're going to switch. I'm really excited. I do not like filming with the phone, not one bit at all. Let's hope the Pocket 3 holds up, at least for the rest of this show. Toontown and Small World are next. Not much to show you for just Small World. Obviously, it's been closed for quite a while and will stay closed into April. But I just wanted to give you guys a little walkthrough. They've got walls up on both sides now. And what they're doing on the left, I believe, is just repairing some loose stones, loose pavement. They do the brickwork here. And I would imagine that they're not always going to be in good shape. I'm surprised to see guests actually here in the gift shop, considering both Small World is closed and the pathways are such that people don't even believe that it's open. Listen to that sound. You guys hear that? Oh, I see it. I mean, there it is right there. The Disneyland Railroad. Yay. Park is quite literally not the same without them. And I can say that with 100% confidence. It's just not the same without the Disneyland Railroad. And yeah, more of the same here in Toontown. Wall to wall, shoulder to shoulder. Guests everywhere. Is there, we saw what, 75 minutes? On the tip board earlier. It's very difficult just to walk around, man. Okay, we saw 75. Let's see.
I will say,
actually, it says, wow, it says 40 minutes right now. Is that, are we too late? Are we too late? People have turned around. There's some guests turning around. That's a call to action, that 40 minutes, let me tell you. We can get all the way to the bouncer. Yeah, there it is. It's the same spot again. Back to the queue is just shy again of the prop room. That could be 40 minutes, but it's certainly not less than 40 minutes. It's certainly, you're not getting a discount here. You're not going to get 30, especially if Lightning Lane over there stays that way. If Lightning Lane stays like that, it's going to be 40 plus. That number will jump up. It's going to draw a bunch of people in there. It's going to draw a big crowd. 40 minutes right now is a screaming to the rafters shout, "Come ride Roger Rabbit," which means if you're not here already, you're too late. Runaway Railway. Hi, how are you? Look at that, here we go. Back of the queue, Runaway Railway. I mean, it's posted at 45, but it could be that, right? It's a very efficient queue, 45, but it's out here, it's there, it's out there in the ropes, it's not, oh my God. That's what it is. It's getting a little breezy out here too, a little chilly. Oh my, we had a nice toasty day going there for a little bit. I'm trying to see if we can't navigate our way through these crowds. It's pretty intense. There's Minnie's house, standard 45 minutes.
So much.
Mickey's is 60. Wow, here's something I've never seen before. It's out the door. You can't even get, oh my gosh. You can't even get in there. You guys, that's the back of the queue. I'm honestly, this is definitely once in a lifetime observation here. Never in my life have I seen the queue just to get, there's a queue just to get in the house. Okay, so if you've ever been in Minnie's house or Mickey's house, you know that there's two waits. There's the walk through the house, and then there's the space where you wait to see Mickey. And it is usually the case that you can walk through all or most of the house before you get to the queue to meet, even on a busy day, before you get to the queue to actually meet Mickey. And I'll be surprised, I have been surprised in the past, shocked, where I find a queue, let's say, in a washroom or maybe at, where the gopher is eating the carrots. But I've never seen it out into the living room or even beyond that, out the threshold, out the door. That means that whole entire space, through that entire queue, is full of people right now. That is excruciating. Okay, gadgets. Posted at 60 minutes, my goodness. It is 60 minutes and all of that even. There's the back of the queue. It's gonna come out the threshold here too. Wow, where are the discounts? There's no discounts anywhere. 60 minutes. People are leaving. Like, no, I don't want this. No, wow. Come with me, let's walk out Toontown together. Let's see if we can get an idea of how this feels. Okay, a little space right here. Yikes. Even leaving Toontown or entering is a challenge because of the strollers that narrows the walk. It's a big fat walkway, but maybe 2/5 of it are occupied by strollers going, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 wide, 5 wide in some cases. Now I want to know what a 70-minute Matterhorn queue is looking like today. Not that I've never seen one before, but how real is that? I mean, it's got to be pretty intense. You guys see that? It's a blustery day here in Fantasyland. All right, okay. Let's post at 70. Woo. I'm still having a hard time negotiating guests, getting around. It's actually gone down to 60, according to that sign right there. Lightning Lane looks pretty hearty. That's probably 20, 30 guests in Lightning Lane there. It looks like they're at left of tree. Left is open. tree lamp is open. It's good. It's not bad, actually. That's not bad. Now it depends. If we're if we're to extended 3, then yeah, you're probably 60 minutes if it's just to extended 3. But if it's out there and extended 4 and 5, etc., around the mountain, that's another story. Extended 1. Monorail. Extended 2. Oh dear. And extended 3, where that light pole is, that's the end of extended 3. So they are in fact up to extended 4 at least. They're into the white rope zone. When you see it go from chains to ropes, then you know you're in uncharted territory. But at least it's not wild space. I don't even know where 4 ends. I think this, I don't know. I don't see, I mean, they could do it anywhere. But we're at extended 5 at least, right? I mean, that's 4 and 5 if I were able to define them somehow. This is really pushing the limits of this queue for sure. Pushing the limits. It's actually as far as they can go. Because they can't go out here and they'd have to move this cart. They'd have to move the popcorn and the cotton candy, which looks delicious. God, guys, I want popcorn. One of these days, I'm gonna get popcorn and eat it while I'm walking around the park. But one more thing that I want to talk about with respect to tickets and discounts and the state. Wow, the State of Disneyland. Okay, so a year ago, they stopped selling the $50 ticket in March. This year, they have extended it into May, right? But not only that, but now they are selling another discounted ticket. Hi guys. They're selling another discounted ticket for not as good as the $67 adult ticket or the $50 kids ticket, but it's still a discount from the regular price, $100. If you buy a 4-day ticket, it's $100, and a 3-day ticket, it's $120 per day. So $400 all in for the whole trip, right? So that's good. That's a discount, and that's for the 70th, starting May 16th. That's for the 70th and on into the summer, through summer, mostly into August, right? Now the 70th goes on for a whole year, so it goes on well beyond that. So this is not just a sale for the 70th; it's more of a summer sale. In any case, so that's great. Disney is again feeling the pressure perhaps, and they want to sell another discount ticket. But I would caution you. I think that this is optics only. This particular deal is more for optics and the illusion of a discount. I mean, there is some, but it's not that far removed from the already discounted 3-day ticket. You can get. Let me just pull up my numbers here. If I want to make sure I have this right, you can get a 3-day ticket today for $140 per day, $420 total. So $140. The 3-day ticket that Disney's discounting is for $120. So wait, it's 140, 280, 560. I'm sorry, 560 for the 4-day ticket. Yeah, that's right. And then for the discounted ticket, it's $360. So you're saving $20 per day per guest, which is a savings, but I don't know if that's a thing that I would get super excited about. It doesn't change my motivation much. So I guess what I'm trying to say is the 3-day and 4-day tickets are already a pretty good discount off the regular price. I mean, that $100 per day or $120 day looks good when you put it up next to what the tickets are going for single day, $160, $180. Now you're talking about a discount. But we're not comparing it to single day tickets, we're comparing it to multi-day tickets. The 3-day ticket right now is $120 per day. Do I have that right? 3-day, $120 per day, $360 for the 3 days. The new discount is $100 a ticket, or $100 a day, $300, you're saving $60. I mean, that's good, I guess, $60 for 3 days. It's good, but it's not a lot. So while it is an improvement, and it's a beautiful scene. Are you guys even listening to me right now? You know what? You're not even listening to me. I'm gonna keep moving. Thanks, but you know, I would rather they discount the single day ticket, I guess is what I'm saying. Give me a discount on a single day ticket if you want to really impress me. Of course, I will reiterate, this never would have been a conversation that we would have in 2019. We would not have had this conversation. Look at Finding Nemo. Bursting. It's using almost all of that queue. We'll get a little closer. Danger. Let's get closer. Sorry, Jungle Cruise reference. Yeah, a couple of the chains are still open, but that is a very hardy queue here at Finding Nemo. Oh boy. I mean, you gotta pick something, right? Here's what I would be doing. Every non-Lightning Lane attraction I could find, I would be very happy to be going to spending a lot of my time on the Jungle Cruise or at Fantasyland, riding Main Street vehicles, yeah, I mean, eating snacks, going on Autopia maybe. That's kind of a discount for Lightning Lane. I would not at all be pressed about how many Lightning Lane attractions I'm getting in. That says 45 minutes. That is dirty for Finding Nemo. You know, that's what I would do, but this is coming from a local. I'm gonna be updated. We just did a video, a Lightning Lane test, how to Lightning Lane with, or how to rope drop with Lightning Lane. Very informative video, very informative. But I feel like there may be some disconnect there because we're doing it live, and I'm showing you the application of how it is, and that doesn't give us the opportunity to really get into the actual definitions of things like stacking or cooldowns or just, you know, in terms of just how to cycle properly Lightning Lane choices. So I think we're going to be doing a proper like voiceover video for that. Stay tuned for that. We're at Autopia now, and once more, just having difficulty getting into Autopia. This time 2 weeks ago, it was a 5-minute wait. Today it's 35. From 5 to 35. And by the way, they were selling the discounted ticket 2 weeks ago. So that's not the only reason, for those of you who are wondering if that's why this is. It's not the only reason. Look at that, they're all up in the risers back there. They are everywhere. All 4 lanes are open, so it's full capacity. But this is, fully active, fully engaged Autopia situation. And I'm sure glad to be winding the show down soon because we just lost the Pocket 3 again. Back on the phone. And that is a 70-minute standby wait time for Space Mountain. I think it's probably even money that the queue, back in the standby queue, is out the door at the extended queue. Look at that. It's not out the door, although it is kind of getting close. That 70 minutes might be enough of a deterrent to keep people. They put that thing down to 60, maybe 50, and they'll fill this room up right here and get it out the door. But it is out here into Section 3. I know we're not done with our day yet, but I thought this would be a good spot to go ahead and assign our grades because I have a pretty good feeling of where we're at. Grading 4 different areas in the park: crowds, queues, the maintenance, the upkeep of the park, and what are the attractions like? How are the attractions holding up? How are they open? And on that note, attractions, A. We're a solid A here. There was one attraction being closed right now, Indiana Jones. We saw another one that was closed temporarily, Pirates. That's back open. Otherwise, there's a lot of walls out there. There's a lot of construction walls out there, but the attractions are open. They're running as well and as high operationally as they have in quite a while. As far as upkeep goes, I mean, things look pretty good. And again, it's a very high bar that they have, so we can't just give it an automatic A. If you compare this to Knott's Berry Farm or Universal or any other theme park, it's an A+ every day, no matter what you see. But Disneyland does have a higher standard. I'm going to give it a B+, if only because there still are a lot of construction walls out there going on, so it doesn't look good. It doesn't feel like a complete park right now. But I haven't noticed anything, no dirt, no trash or anything like that. It looks in pretty good shape. Reservations. Is that my 4th point? I can't remember if I said, well, it's supposed to be reservations. I can't look on my notes right now because they're in my phone and I've got a film on it. I'm giving the reservations a D, like a mid D, not even a high D, but a D.
Now, I'm expecting them to be bad. I'm expecting reservations to suck. But it's really, really difficult to make a reservation right now as a Magic Key holder. You got a single day ticket holders, you got no problem. It's easy for you. So don't even listen to this conversation if you're not a Magic Key holder. But for Magic Key holders, it sucks right now. It sucks, and I don't think it's going to get any better. So a D on that. It could be worse, I guess. In that case, when that happens, it'll be an F. But for now, it's a D. And then finally, crowds. I'm going to give it a D plus. Now, when I say D plus, I don't mean like I hate it. It's just that's how busy. A D plus means it's a really busy day. A is like a regular breezy day, like you're in the park on a rainy day or something like that. Very busy day out here. The crowds are kind of intense, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It could be worse again, and it's actually, it's still. No, it was rough today. It was pretty rough. I would bet the people are waiting in those lightning lane queues, like what do we see it? Millennium Falcon at 60 or 70 minutes. I still want to know what that Pirates queue looked like. Maybe we'll walk by there when we do Big Thunder, but it's a very, very busy day today. So all in, I think we're looking at somewhere, like if we're giving a total grade, I think that factors out to something like a mid-C, right?
We did give our grades, but we just have a couple more chages to check in on, but I don't think these are going to impact the overall scoring much, if at all. 45-minute queue there for Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters. We saw that already on the tip board. It's pretty much where it was. Seeing that queue out there, that's Lightning Lane in your frame now. That's not a good look. That's a lot of people in Lightning Lane. That's going to put a big hold on the progress of the Buzz Lightyear queue, which is obviously filling in all the gaps back there. Astro Orbiter, solid 25 minutes right here. That's about standard. It looks like 25. It's posted 25. And then Star Tours. Okay, we saw 45 on the tip board a little bit ago, about an hour ago. It's come down 5 minutes. That says 40 right there. Are they in detention? Hi, how are you? Looks like they are in detention and more. Oh no. Usually the chains end right here at the doors, the detention. You make a right turn from the chains into detention, but they're sending you out this way first, which is rare. This is old school. This is back in the day type waits for Star Tours when people really enjoy this attraction. If anything, that just supports our grade for the crowds today at about a D plus. Comparatively speaking, especially when you compare this to last year, this time last year, I had a breeze walking through this park, but today, nope. Last stop here is in Frontierland, and that's not a good sign. The last couple times we came through here, it was empty and we were able to sneak a ride in here, but that is as maximized as you're gonna see the Big Thunder queue. I was wondering if we're gonna see guests come out here in the walkway, but they aren't, because they have actually extended the queue into the old Fast Pass stations. You guys remember when they have Fast Pass kiosks right here? It's been a long time since I've seen them put guests in that queue. I'm not sure if I've ever seen it, to be honest. And it's posted at 65 minutes. It'll be almost all of that, I'm sure. And that is the State of Disneyland for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please be sure to check out our more recent videos. We did a video on, as I mentioned before, rope dropping with Lightning Lane. Very informative video that I hope you guys can check out. Obviously, check out our last State of DC report. Otherwise, thanks for watching, everybody. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Respect.